Hey man, it's not cool to use the R word anymore. Look bro, I don't know how you found this channel. I'm sorry to have assaulted your ears with that word, but let it just be known that I will never, ever, ever use that word ever again, okay? I'm sorry, that's the old me. This is the new me. This video is the start of a new era. I very much would like to apologize for what I said, and honestly, I think that you are retarded. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tom Dark channel, the home of Tom, me. I'm back! And yes, to address the elephant in the room about my appearance, yes, I did grow about 7 inches in height. I'm now 6'5", and you will all address me as Goontar the Troll from now on. So I don't want to see any comments saying anything about Tom or Zim, because I'm not non-binary. I'm troll gender, so you will be respecting that. So another individual has now dropped a video to expose MrBeast. He goes by the name of Ty Orr on YouTube, and he's claiming to have had his work stolen from him by MrBeast.
Everything I'm about to say is 100% true, and if at any point I say anything that may be controversial, suspect, or too good to be true, and I don't have the evidence to back it up, then call me a liar, but I guarantee you that won't happen.
He opens the video by just going through all of his receipts so he can verify he was indeed hired by the team at some point in time, or at least that he was supposed to be hired by the team.
I mean, we're talking about a billionaire here. If you know who MrBeast is, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I can hang up my editing tool set, whatever you want to call it, dude. All that stuff. I'm not even going to be editing for the guy. I'm going to be using my mata. I'm going to be making ideas for him to make videos. I swear to God, that's what my job is. It's not editing. And that's what I got from our meetings was, you know, MrBeast, Jimmy, he passes me a piece of paper that says, I blew up the world's most expensive tanks or something. And he gives me a thumbnail that has a picture of him blowing up a tank. And it's my job to make a video out of that.
He was excited for this job, you know, the idea of being hired as a content strategist for Jimmy. The idea was MrBeast would give him an idea he had, and then Ty would be tasked with doing write-ups and planning how to execute such a crazy, wacky, zany MrBeast YouTube idea on YouTube. It's some pretty unorthodox, rather high concept work compared to the editing stuff that he had typically been doing. The MrBeast team says they'd like him to come into the office for a few days for a vibe check to see if he matches the culture and energy that the company has. They give him 2 video prompts to work on, and he picks the one titled The World's Most Dangerous Trap Room. He then completes this prompt of, you know, giving all of his ideas that he had for the team that they could then use in their videos. So we do know he worked on some specific video ideas. I mean, that's, you know, somewhat clear here, I think, fair enough. But he then describes how when he gets to the MrBeast warehouse, they make him sign in on an iPad, and this really weirds Ty out.
I've never once personally ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. But what I think what they're doing, there is an iPad as soon as you get to the warehouse, as soon as you walk in, and you have to sign in. And they ask you things like your first name, last name, email address, all that, phone number, and stuff like that. And I have a very, very, very high suspicion that when you sign your name in there and you sign in, I think you're also signing an NDA.
All right, well, Ty opened his video by saying that I should call him out for anything he cannot prove and say if it's BS or not.
But I guarantee you that won't happen.
Honestly, this is dumb. There are so many other explanations for this other than it being an NDA. At a company like MrBeast, which has hundreds of employees, a ton of contractors, people constantly coming and going from different places and locations, they probably just want to keep track of who is on MrBeast property at what time. It's far more likely that they wanted to keep track of when he got there, so if something goes wrong in his presence, if they have a disagreement, you know, between him and the staff, maybe if some of their product goes missing and they are wondering where it is, maybe someone stole it, they can go back and look at who was there at that time and try to reverse engineer it. Now, I'm not accusing Ty of any of these things, and as far as we know, Ty never did anything like that, so I'm not assuming anything like that happened. I'm just saying, like, this could apply to a ton of other scenarios in which they would want him to sign in on an iPad and it wouldn't have any malicious intention. It's possible this iPad had some secret NDA hidden in there when he signed his name or something, like, it's possible, but he literally has no proof for it. He didn't even think that it was an NDA at the time, so realistically, this just seems super flimsy and dumb to even include, honestly. But Ty gets to the warehouse and he goes to what he calls Studio 1, and there he doesn't really enjoy any of the work he's doing, but then he goes to Studio 2 where he meets up with this guy named Hoodie, who according to him is the 4th in command at Satan Studios, the Antichrist workshop, okay? This is where he's at. So there, he gives his pitch for this video about an obstacle course, and Hoodie then tells him he wants him to shadow other employees of the company for the rest of the day and see how they work. So there, when he's shadowing people, he's tasked with working on a video titled The World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course, and in that room, he writes a pitch on the wall on this, like, whiteboard for his idea for the video, and it seems like a pretty cool pitch from everything I can tell.
And we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic. Right here, we're looking at this is the most important part. It's just rooms. When I saw rooms, when we were brainstorming rooms, I'm like, dang, okay, rooms. I just did a prompt on the world's dangerous trap rooms. This is perfect. I can do this. It doesn't exactly follow the obstacle course, so I can kind of use my room idea with this.
He has this idea for a floating block concept, kind of like in Mario. That's what he compares it to anyway. You know, when you're playing as Mario, you're trying to get to the end so you can smash Peach in the ass. You're jumping over all kinds of different things. You know, you're jumping over like dead Palestinians. You're jumping over Israeli bombs. You're jumping over concentration camps. That's just kind of a normal thing, you know, that you would do in Mario. And so, you know, he had a pretty cool idea here. But he quickly realizes that in real life, you can't have floating blocks. So he modifies the idea to be an obstacle course that is raised in the air. And he utilizes a net to catch people below. That's how he's going to make sure that it's safe.
Because if you look a little bit more to the right of this picture, there's like a helicopter and a guy hanging from a ladder. And there's platforms down here, 1, 2, and 3. There's platforms right there. That was just the first section of it. I wanted the intro of the video to be something so outlandish, so crazy that a viewer had to keep watching.
He pitches the idea, and everyone loves it, apart from one studio higher-up that's working there, according to Ty Orr. And the studio higher-up is not Hoodie, it's some different guy with a different rank, but regardless of that, he's still a studio higher-up, and he doesn't like it. And Ty says this because it wasn't his idea, it was Ty's idea, and that's why this guy's like, I don't like that. Regardless, that higher-up gets owned because this idea is too good, and Ty stays up until midnight with Hoodie and some other team members to work on this idea, on this concept. They decide on a budget of $1.7 million, and he's like, wow, what an amazing experience. That was a lot of fun. I can't wait to be hired by these people and work for them. Well, when he flies home, he then gets an email saying they don't want him to work with them anymore. They don't hire him, and they tell him he did a great job, but they don't really have an opening for him at that moment in time due to limited jobs. He holds his tongue, not thinking too much of it. You know, some people get hired, some people don't. You know, maybe they genuinely didn't have an opening. He doesn't really believe it, but he's like, you know, it's not really my place to demand a job. But eventually, he sees a tweet from MrBeast showing it looks like an identical challenge.
You're a billionaire, man. Pay people for their ideas. Don't just fly them out there, take their ideas, and send them home. You're giving these people false hope. You're taking their dreams from them. You're taking everything that's about them, their creativeness, their fucking imagination. I'm sorry, I'm actually getting worked up right now. You can't do that to people. You can't do that to people. And on top of that, with everything going in the media, it just kind of shows his true colors. It shows the true nature, your character of who you are. This ain't it, man. This seriously is not it.
So without a doubt, I think MrBeast and his team, whoever did this, should have paid this guy. Like, obviously, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Like, if everything he's saying here is true, if he did work on that video, if that video eventually came out, and according to him, he got paid nothing for it, and it's like his entire concept, that's pretty ridiculous. Like, he undoubtedly should have been compensated for this video. I think it's a very, very scummy thing to do, okay? But unfortunately for Ty Orr, he really overplayed his hand here because at the end of the video, he announces a GoFundMe that he started so people can give him $1.7 million. In fact. For what? Like, why is the audience expected to give him money? Why are they encouraged to do this? I'm not really sure, but let's let Ty explain it a bit more to clarify.
So I'm asking you guys, if you believe everything that I've said, there's without a doubt in your mind, you're like, you know what? I like the proof. I like what I saw. I want to help this guy out. Please help me out. I'm going to start a GoFundMe. We work too hard to be stomped on by these guys, to be trampled by these people in power. And who's the one that benefits from it? Think about it. Who's benefiting from this? Me or MrBeast? It ain't me. So please support your boy.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is really dumb. This is really actually. This is like extremely low IQ. This is like I don't even know what kind of comparison I can make. This is like Shane Gillis doing a impression of someone with Down syndrome level of stupidity.
Think about it. Who's benefiting from this? Me or MrBeast? It ain't me.
He says he's being stomped on by people in power as if this is some like special movement. He's fighting for workers' rights. Like, yeah, Ty was definitely wrong by MrBeast, but why are you asking your audience for money? Are you like in a tough financial spot? Is the money being used to file a lawsuit against MrBeast? Well, maybe it is. Let's look at the page and see what his intentions are. The fight against MrBeast and the wrongdoing of his company. Okay, so it's like a fight. He's gonna fight them somehow. Okay, so what fight is going on here? What exactly is the situation? How's he gonna fight them? I, among others, am a victim of property theft from MrBeast. Please check out my YouTube video explaining the experience I had to go through the past 6 months. This company has exploited me and will not budge on making things right. Let's settle the score. I pray this never happens to another person like myself, because in a world like this, it's very hard to bounce back and recover. Wait, okay, so he's not fighting them, he just wants money? He just wants the audience's money? He also makes a claim here saying they wouldn't budge, okay? He says they wouldn't budge when he deserved the money, okay? They wouldn't budge on making things right. Did he ever ask them for money? Like, did he ever reach out to them? I think he should have gotten paid in the first place, but he's basically making it out here like he reached out to them and they were like, we're not giving you money, you don't deserve it. And it's like, what? You didn't even claim that in the video. You didn't even have a receipt for that. That wasn't even in the video. So why are you saying that?
And if at any point I say anything that may be controversial, suspect, or too good to be be true and I don't have the evidence to back it up, then call me a liar, but I guarantee you that won't happen.
This seems like a false claim he's making here, or if it is true, why didn't he prove it in the initial video? And on top of that, this guy's making it out like he's in like such a tough spot. He's in like a super downtrodden financial spot. Well, this guy actually opened his MrBeast video describing all the various editing jobs he's done and the people he works for.
In my line of work, I work for big name YouTubers, mostly in the sports niche, but it has its range. I've done videos for House of Highlights, The Game Day, Zach TTG, Jesser, Papa Stanimus, Not So Air Jordan, and then I currently edit for MMG. Not to mention I did do the 2022 NFL playoff commercials. So it's pretty normal to have people reach out to me because they've seen my work from other creators and all the other work that I've done for them.
All right, so let me get this straight. This dude opens the video talking about how he's a professional video editor, making stuff for all these big names, okay? He did work for the NFL draft, apparently. Makes sense. So he must get paid pretty well, right? I would assume so if he's consistently working for channels of this caliber. But let's say he's not being paid well. Let's say those people aren't really paying him well. Well, if that is the case, that doesn't have anything to do with MrBeast anyway. They are not MrBeast. Like, these other people are not him. So, like, that's not MrBeast's responsibility. Whatever they pay him doesn't even matter. So why is this guy asking for money? Why is he asking for funds here? Why did he ask for $1.7 million? That's a very specific amount of money. Does Ty realize that the entire budget of the video being $1.7 million doesn't mean that's what he would be personally paid for the video? You realize, like, there's no member of the production team behind the scenes making $1.7 million for one single video. Like, that doesn't, if that does happen, I've never seen any proof of it, and then they are, like, wasting money in a crazy way. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the winners in these videos do get a lot of money, and, you know, based on what Dogpack404 showed us, it looks like a lot of those people are contractors or hired by MrBeast or connected to the brand in some way, and, you know, that definitely looks, you know, it looks weird that he's making challenges, right? But that's, like, a different thing. Like, this guy worked on producing the video behind the scenes. Like, he doesn't deserve $1.7 million. The guy who comes up with the idea, okay, for the video is not going to be paid $1.7 million. That doesn't even make sense. The video is going to cost an amount of money to make, apparently, or more. People who are getting paid for this stuff fairly for creating these ideas, who are actually getting paid by MrBeast, they're not getting paid 1.7 mil, and they shouldn't be. Now, make no mistake, I'm not saying that Ty Orr shouldn't be paid for the work that he did. He should be paid, and he should be paid by MrBeast. But that money would probably amount to like a few $1,000s at most, not $1.7 million. Like, Ty made this whole video about how MrBeast stole his idea. Fair enough. It seems like he did that. And if Ty's being honest, at the very least, someone at the company or MrBeast stole his idea, and there should be some kind of consequence for that. I think he should be fairly paid, and maybe the company needs to, you know, rework how they do things, because that's horrible. But do I know that MrBeast did that? Well, Ty never said he met MrBeast in person throughout this whole ordeal, so this could be the responsibility of someone else in the chain. Maybe that C1 guy he mentioned who was jealous about him having the idea. Maybe that guy went to MrBeast and was like, hey man, look at our awesome idea that I made and we made, and didn't even mention Ty Orr, and Jimmy never knew. Now, it's obviously still partially MrBeast's responsibility because it's his company. He's the one who's supposed to know what's going on with it and be the guy structuring it and making sure people get paid fairly. So it's still partially a reflection on him in the chain of command and ethical practices of this company. But like, you're asking for $1.7 million, dude. For what? For what? Just because you want it? Why does Ty Orr personally believe he deserves $1.7 million? And with that being the donation goal in the first place, I think that really calls into question all the motivations behind making this video. I'm reading this as blatant opportunism. Ty pretends to be fighting for the working class here, the people who are downtrodden by these billionaires who just take people's ideas and they're sick of it, okay? They're sick of being downtrodden by these big wealthy employers, and they're gonna fight and rise up and fight the system. No more of these billionaires taking the little guy's ideas and giving them nothing. So what did Ty do as a result? Well, he asked for almost $2 million. Money he never would have gotten from MrBeast if he was paid fairly anyway, because that's a ridiculous amount of money. Like, I can't even harp on this enough. 1.7 mil is insane orders of magnitude more than he ever deserved to get paid for this work anyway. And he's asking for that money from the YouTube audience. And keep in mind, what would they get in return for that? Nothing, absolutely nothing. Ty was not going to sue MrBeast. He was not going to take legal action. He never said he would do that at any point in time. He was never going to help other people who had been wronged by MrBeast and distribute the money to them. He was just going to line his own pockets personally. He describes this big emotional story, which in fairness, he has a right to be mad about. He gets the audience all fired up, and then after appealing to emotion, he attempts to use that to personally enrich himself with the money of the audience through a GoFundMe, which he won't even use to seek legal remedy for the money he should have been paid or to punish MrBeast. No, he just wants a few $1 million in his own pocket right now from you. Now, Ty did apologize in his his comment section saying, "I'm truly sorry. Every penny's being refunded. I wanted a way to have the people that rock with me support me. It was a bonehead move, but truly with no malicious intent. Again, I apologize deeply. All I care about is getting my story out there. I never thought this video would do anything like this. I was happy knowing someone knew, even if it was 100 people." Now, I cannot know Ty's intentions here. I can't, see inside of his mind, but based on his actions, I'm going to make some inferences here, okay? I'm a commentary channel, so here is my commentary. First of all, Ty says he never expected the video to blow up. Yes, you did. You absolutely did, okay? You made a video about MrBeast stealing from you with a ton of receipts, a ton of emails accusing him of stealing your idea at the most opportune time to release that video. You did not make this video years ago, or a few months ago even, when people would have been less inclined to believe you. You did it right now because you knew it would get the most eyes on it possible. And hey, fair enough. That's cool. I don't blame you for wanting to get your story out there or being scared to speak up before, considering the backlash you may get. But the goal of making a video, okay, of making any video, is literally to get the most views possible. You made a video accusing the biggest YouTuber of all time of stealing your idea, so don't play dumb like you never expected it to blow up. "Oh my god, guys, I made a video saying that the most famous person in the world stole from me, and it got 2.3 million views in 2 days at the height of the drama surrounding him. How could this have happened? I couldn't have even anticipated this." Yeah, I don't buy that. And I especially do not buy it because he didn't set the donation goal at like a few $1,000s, which is what he deserved to be paid for his work anyway. No, he set it at $1.7 million, a ton of money. Am I supposed to believe that he thought he could raise $1.7 million if 100 people, in his own words, saw his video? Was he expecting 100 crypto bros to stumble across the video and all instantly sent him $100,000 each in Ethereum? No, he did not expect that. He saw the opportunity here. He thought that at the height of MrBeast drama, he could use his story, which honestly seems to be true, to opportunistically rake in a big chunk of change for himself, a chunk of change he never deserved in the first place. And he did it off the back of this like social movement that he pretends to care about of the billionaires are destroying us. You don't give a shit. You wanted the money. Just say that. And Dogpack seemingly agrees with my assessment of this, at least in spirit, maybe not in the details, but based on a comment he left on a WestJet video, he said that he said the GoFundMe was AIDS, which is true. It is AIDS. It's HIV positive to the max. Now, Dogpack also kind of reiterated the main substance of Ty's video, saying, "I also started on an unpaid vibe check, which ended up lasting about a month, February 22nd to March 19th, and I saw multiple people come in and out on vibe checks. I can't say whether or not the company was cycling unpaid workers with no intention of hiring them, but they definitely benefited from their unpaid labor. I also know for a fact that some full-time creatives pull ideas straight from the job application database and take full credit for them." Now, I don't want Ty Orr's actions to take too much away from what MrBeast did here, because it seems to me that it's extremely likely that Ty Orr's idea was actually stolen and he was never paid for it. And this could very well be like a repeated issue that, many people have experienced, right? And those people should all be paid by MrBeast, including Ty Orr. But there's a reason why I talked so in depth here, okay, on this issue. And there's a really important reason here. When you're calling out the biggest YouTuber in the world, optics are important, okay? The way you deliver a message is important. If you want to have an impact on the situation and have your story heard, the reasoning for doing that undoubtedly matters. However true Ty's story may be, ultimately what he saw was not that he could fight for the people like him and these evil billionaires are stealing our shit.
You can't do that to people. You can't do that to people. And on top of that, with everything going in the media, it just kind of shows his true colors. It shows the true nature, your character of who you are. This ain't it, man. This seriously is not it.
After this, he says he wants MrBeast to pay him, so let's watch that.
I know this may sound really crazy because, I'm asking for money. And that's basically what I'm doing with MrBeast. I want him to pay me. He owes me this money. He owes me this. He can't, you can't just keep doing this to people. You can't do this.
Yeah, true. He owes you money. He doesn't owe you millions of dollars, but he does owe you something. And your response to that is to then say, if you believe my story and believe in my struggle, the struggle of creatives everywhere, okay, please give me your money for nothing. Give me your money, YouTube audience, for nothing. I do not buy that this is a simple mistake that he never thought about. I mean, he made this video, he constructed this whole video, he had time to think before he uploaded it. And not only that, he structured the video very intentionally. I mean, he gets really fired up near the end. He gets increasingly angry. He talks about the struggle of everyone and creatives and whatever the and then he drops the GoFundMe thing. I see this as a blatant attempt at emotional manipulation of the audience. Thankfully, it didn't work out and people called him out for it, but make no mistake, if nobody had criticized this guy, the GoFundMe would still be up and he would be laughing his way all the way to the bank and he wouldn't give a shit. He only removed the GoFundMe because he got enough backlash that he thought it was like a risk to him. And now, what does MrBeast get to do here? Well, when he responds, he'll have an easier time making Ty Orr look dumb, and like Ty Orr is exposing him for the wrong reasons. And you know what? Despite what MrBeast did, which is is awful, and I think probably worse than what Ty Orr did, in a way, MrBeast will be right. This guy did have the wrong intentions, and this will undoubtedly aid MrBeast in debunking this guy and his allegation, and it will make him have an easier time coming back to YouTube whenever he does. And whose fault is that? Well, it's partially the fact that MrBeast has a huge audience he can access, and he faces less scrutiny from people who don't know about the controversy and are just going to listen to his response. But part of it is also because Ty Orr is an idiot. Now, I still want Ty Orr to get paid something out of this by MrBeast himself, because that's, you know, what's fair and he should be paid. And I hope that stories like this coming to light can change the internal structure of the MrBeast company and make them be more diligent about paying people for the work they do. Because that, you know, it's ridiculous to just like take someone's idea, not pay them for it, and then make a giant video out of it and like never credit them in any way, never even, you know, pay them what they're owed, right? But Ty Orr didn't deserve $1.7 million. And honestly, my impression of him based on this video is that, you know, he should probably stick to editing.
Ever since I was a young kid, I always wanted to be famous, and it wasn't until in 2018 of November that I knew that I wanted to be a YouTuber. Sadly, it took me 4 years to realize that I actually suck. I'm really bad. I'm super cringe, and don't worry, because I am aware of this.
Yeah, honestly, I think things should stay that way, buddy. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in tomorrow's video when I put this up my butt. Whoa, you didn't expect that, did you? You thought it was going to be the Red Bull can. You thought it was going to be this. But no, it's going to be the Zins.
Goodbye. 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 Like, subscribe, and comment for chicken tender meal in game. Video game. Goodbye.
And let's just hope I don't have to do a part 2. I am, though. I actually am. I have so much more proof to go to. I have text messages. I have everything.